you were telling me that there's like a story, like lore amongst the people from anthologies written hundreds of years ago, where if you asked them where the stones came from, they'd be like, the stones were always here.
That's true too. So there's evidence of habitation at Cusco going back to which Cusco is the seat of the Inca world.
I got you. Right here.
There you go. So Cusco is the seat of the Inca world. It sits at like 12,500 feet. Incredibly like protected, isolated, natural environment. And so it's a great place to live. The ground's very fertile. There's rolling hills. It's a nice, very nice place. The weather's great. And so there's evidence of people living there. It's either 2000 or 4000 BC was some of the earliest evidence that they found of little like campsites and stuff of people living out there. Now, there's this period before the Inca Empire called the Kingdom of Cusco. And we don't really know exactly when it begins. We know that I think they expanded to an empire around 800 AD, according to their oral history that they told the Spaniards, right? But the Spaniards, when they're walking around, gosh, why I always forget the name of this temple, but there's a, I'm looking at the photo of it right now, actually.
Which one? Which image?
It's the one with the girl standing in front of that corner of the building.
That 12 angle.
Yeah. For some reason, I am forgetting the name of this building, but it's this building right here that the Spaniards are walking around in the 1500s, talking to the Inca, and they're asking him, "How did you guys build these walls?" And gosh, I can't believe I can't think of the name of this temple. What does it say? Palace of Inca Roca. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So, so they're walking around this palace, and the Spaniards asked them, "How did you guys build these stones? Like, what did you do?" And they were told by the Inca, "Well, this place was built by the gods. This was here."
Which would imply that the Inca stumbled upon it, maybe tried to continue building it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's the Inca, but isn't there some evidence of a lesser masonry done on top of certain structures that existed?
Well, and that's kind of
maybe you can formulate my sentence a little better.
Yeah. So one of the things that you see a lot is that you'll see this lower level that's really sophisticated architecture.
The megalithic
stones. And then on top of it, you'll have this, what people call like Inca construction, which is just rubble, like crudely formed rubble packed together, sometimes with like cement or mortar between the stones to get the stones to like stick together. That's not always the case. It's kind of like it's a tough argument for people to make because if you go to Machu Picchu and if you look at the architecture of Machu Picchu and you think like, well, maybe the Inca came and found this and they built on top of it, whatever. When you go around that entire city, there's actually only 2 buildings there that are made out of the megalithic stone. The rest of it is in that mortar. And so it's like, okay, well, did this pre-civilization come out here and just build these 2 buildings way out here up on top of this mountain? Maybe they did. Well, then, we have to come up with a theory of, well, why did they, what is the actual purpose of that? Of course, there's never actually a theory that's proposed. It's just, with some of this stuff, it kind of sits in mystery. People like to talk about the mystery, but don't actually want to come up with a reason to like expand on that, right?
The mystery is really fun.
And the mystery is fun and it sells, right?
Yes.
Trying to explain the mystery doesn't always sell.
Yeah.
Which is sort of a big thing in my space.
What's up, people? World's fastest ad reads, all right? I'm going to New York City, Sesh Comedy Club, April 3rd. That is going to be my show. It's going to be me, a bunch of other comedians, magicians, musicians, who knows? It's going to be awesome, and I'll see you guys there. And then I'm going to be hitting the road throughout the year, specifically at the end of the year. Plano, Texas, Chandler, Arizona, Pasadena, California, San Diego, and Detroit. I can't wait to see you guys there. Come out, shake my hand, take a pic, and come enjoy some stand-up comedy.
There's tons of stuff that I will say about the ancient world, where I'll say, I don't think it's that way. I still think it's amazing. Like here's the big thing. The evidence.
I love this stuff, Luke.
The evidence.
I love it all. I love it all. Well, keep going. This is great.
As disappointing as it is to most of the ancient history space, the evidence is overwhelming that the dynastic Egyptians themselves built the pyramids.
The dynastic Egyptians themselves.
Yeah,
so these are the people that existed in Egypt at the time.
Yeah, so let's say the dynastic Egyptians would be 3100 BC to the death of Cleopatra in 30 BC. And that's the dynastic period.
And you would you would posit that the dynastic Egyptians also built the pyramids down into Sudan. Well,
no, so that's the those are the Nubians, the
So-
Kushites.
So the Nubians and Kushites had their own. There's no like exchange of information, technology.
Huge extent. They
were influencing
so the
one another.
Nubians were getting beat up so much by the Egyptians for thousands of years. There's no gold in Egypt. All of the gold comes from the Kushite mines, like down in the Nubian world. So all the pharaohs would ride down there in these like yearly or
gold.
annual raids. They take all the gold. Of course, they would do this in the Levant too, like out in Mesopotamia. And then they would do these raids where they gather up all the gold and the loot and bring it back to Egypt. So I think it's like maybe in the 900s or 800s BC, maybe the 700s BC, the Nubians, while Egypt is like falling apart, the Nubians, who are so familiar with Egyptian culture, which are basically, they've been colonized by it for thousands of years, they actually march forward, take over Egypt, and then for 5 generations, you have Nubian black pharaohs
Really?
ruling over Egypt, and they're more Egyptian than the Egyptians had been for hundreds of years.
Why are they
Yeah.
more Egyptian?
Yeah.
They just go back to the old ways. The ways.
Make Egypt great again.
Yeah.
made
So
Egypt
they made
great
Egypt great again. Yeah. Yeah. So,
What a story!
and then eventually they're overthrown again. But anyway,
Why is there not a lot of conversation about the pyramids in Sudan? Aren't there more pyramids in Sudan than there are in Egypt?
yeah, I think that might be right. I think in Sudan there should be around 200 or more pyramids, and then in Egypt you're looking at like 127 to 140. But some of them were completely quarried. So they have this foundation of a pyramid, but they don't actually know if that was like a pyramid.
Got
in
it.
that sense. So
It's
it's
also probably British archaeology plus Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
And then the biggest ones are in Egypt, so naturally they're going to get the credit for it.
Yeah.
And when you say completely quarried, meaning there was a pyramid structure that was there, and then those
took all the
stones were
stones, all
removed
of
to
them.
build whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
But it's interesting, kind of like lost in history. You never hear
Yeah.
much conversation about it.
yeah.
And whenever I talk to somebody Sudanese and I bring up the pyramids, yeah, why don't we hear about the pyramids? There's always this reaction. It's like, thank you. Can you talk about this, please? It'd be really nice.
I think a big thing is how stable Sudan is. Like I was down
So
in
you can't evoke your history. You can't evoke your past if you don't have enough stability to maintain
you
People
control.
gotta
can't go
have-
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and,
also
and, you know,
true. Yeah.
they really should do something, because it's not, it shouldn't be that hard. Like if you're down in South Egypt, I was down in Abu Simbel, and which is the place where you have the 4 giant statues of
Yeah.
Pharaoh Ramses carved into the mountainside.
Unbelievable.
Did you go see that?
No, I didn't make it down to what is that area called where you see the majority of the pyramids in Egypt?
What, the Kings, Valley of the Kings?
Yeah, Valley of the Kings, which is in
Luxor.
Luxor. I didn't make it down to Luxor.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Really?
No, I was there for 3 days or 4 days or something like that.
Have you ever been to Egypt?
No.
My mom went.
We should do an Egypt trip.
Dude, that would be it.